Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to dig into something pretty wild. We're going way back in time to solve one of crypto's biggest headaches. And believe it or not, the answer might just be hiding inside a 200-year-old bank. Yeah, you heard that right. This old institution could hold the blueprint for the future of decentralized finance.
I know, it sounds totally nuts, right? A bank from 1825. What could that possibly teach us? Well, here's the thing. The absolute chaos of early American banking. We're talking hundreds of different currencies all competing with each other. It looks shockingly similar to the fragmented crypto world we're in today. And the solution they came up with back then? Well, it's got some incredibly powerful lessons for us right now.
All right, let's dive in and set the stage. Because before we get to the solution, which honestly is so clever, you really have to understand the problem. We need to get a feel for just how much of a mess things were, both back then and, well, right now.
Okay, just take a look at this. It's kind of uncanny. On the one hand, you've got New England in 1825, completely flooded with paper money from more than 300 different banks. Chaos. On the other hand, you have today's digital economy, a huge sea of different blockchains, different tokens. You see it, right? It's the exact same problem, just 200 years apart. It's all about fragmentation, and that fragmentation just creates friction and slows everything down for everybody.
And listen, this wasn't just some minor annoyance. You got to put yourself in their shoes. Imagine you're a shop owner in Boston. Someone pays you with a dollar bill from a bank way out in the country. To you, that dollar might only be worth, say, 95 cents, or maybe less. That kind of uncertainty, it makes doing business an absolute nightmare. This was a real, serious drag on the whole economy, right when the Industrial Revolution was supposed to be taking off.
So, you've got this total mess. The government can't get its act together. There's no central bank to fix things. You'd think the chaos would just keep going, right? But then, an unlikely hero steps onto the scene. And it wasn't the government. It was a private, for-profit bank that came up with a brilliant, purely market-based solution.
And this is the part that's so cool. The Suffolk Bank, this was not some government agency. Nope, this was a regular commercial bank, a private business that looked at all this chaos and saw a huge opportunity. They realized they could actually make money by cleaning up the mess. They found a way to perfectly align their own profits with what everyone needed, a stable, reliable currency.
And how they did it was just brilliant, a total masterclass. It was a three-step process. First, they played hardball, the stick, if you will. They went around, bought up all these discounted country banknotes, and then marched right up to those banks demanding to be paid in real gold and silver. That really forced those banks to get their act together. Then came the carrot. They basically said, hey, instead of us doing that, why don't you join our network? Just keep a small deposit with us, and we'll make sure your notes are accepted at full value everywhere. It was an offer you really couldn't refuse, and it worked. It slowly but surely unified the entire region's currency.
And did it work? Oh yeah, the proof is right here. Over 500 banks. And here's the key thing. This wasn't forced on them. There was no government mandate. They chose to join. By 1840, more than 500 banks had voluntarily signed up because the benefits of being part of a stable, unified system were just undeniable. It was a no-brainer.
This quote just says it all, doesn't it? The most successful private clearing network in American history. Think about that. A private company, using nothing but market incentives, did something that everyone thought only a huge central government could do. They basically created a single, reliable currency for all of New England long before the Federal Reserve was even a glimmer in anyone's eye.
Okay, so cool history lesson, right? But why are we talking about it today? Well, here's where it gets really interesting. Because this exact same pattern is playing out right now, in real time, in the world of DeFi. It's not just a fun little parallel. It is a genuine mirror image.
Okay, look at this table. The parallels are they're stunning. Seriously. Suffolk redeeming paper notes for gold? That's basically what a cross-chain bridge does today, swapping tokens from one blockchain to another. Those deposits the banks had to keep with Suffolk? That's just like the locked collateral, the TVL that you see securing DeFi protocols. And how did Suffolk make money? They earned income on those deposits. That's the great-great-grandfather of the protocol fees and the yield farming that powers so much of DeFi.
So when you boil it all down, both systems are doing the exact same job. They're taking these messy, fragmented markets and pulling them together. The goal is to make everything more efficient and cut down on the costs for everyone involved. It doesn't matter if it's paper banknotes or digital tokens, the core problem and the core solution is the same.
All right, so this is where the rubber meets the road.
What can we, as investors, actually learn from this 200-year-old playbook? How can this history help us spot opportunities in today's crypto markets? Well, the lessons are actually super clear and really powerful.
Lesson number 1 is all about network effects. This is a huge one. Think about it. Every single bank that joined the Suffolk system made that network more valuable for everyone else already in it. That created a powerful defense, a moat around their business that was really hard for competitors to cross. So the takeaway for today, look for those protocols that get stronger and stronger the more people use them. You're looking for high total value locked, lots of integrations. That's the modern day moat.
Okay, lesson 2. Voluntary participation is king. The Suffolk system didn't win because the government forced everyone to use it. It won because it was just better. It offered real benefits. And the lesson for us in crypto is so important. Focus on the protocols that are solving real, painful problems. Don't get distracted by the ones that are just dangling temporary, super high token rewards to lure you in. That stuff doesn't last. Real utility does.
And lesson number 3. This one is a timeless truth of finance. What's in the vault actually matters. The quality of your reserves is everything. The reason Suffolk was so stable and survived financial panics was because they were sticklers for good, solid reserves. The parallel in DeFi couldn't be more obvious, right? You absolutely have to look under the hood and check the quality of a protocol's collateral. That's the difference between a project that weathers a storm and one that completely blows up.
So if you put it all together, the big takeaway is this. Think like the Suffolk Bank. The lasting value, the real money, isn't always in the flashiest new app. It's in the boring, essential infrastructure that makes everything else work. It's the digital picks and shovels. We're talking about the cross-chain bridges, the aggregators, the systems that connect all the pieces. Those are the protocols that are solving that core problem of fragmentation, and that's where the durable value is often found.
So we'll leave you with this question to chew on. What timeless patterns are you overlooking in the market right now? You know, they say history doesn't repeat, but it sure does rhyme. And if you can learn to spot these deep, recurring patterns, these echoes of the past, you can give yourself a massive edge. It's about seeing the bigger picture, and that's what can help you navigate what's coming next. Thanks for joining us for this explainer.